The thoroughbred is a magnificent animal, bred for speed, bred to compete, the sport of kings.
Wow, West Coast has it by 6.
It's the all-new Let's Go Racing from Parx Casino and Racetrack. It's action-packed and fun for the entire family.
3 of them are right together with 1 furlong to go.
Let's Go Racing is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run.
Welcome to Let's Go Racing. It's Danny here with Dick Girardi, and we're coming to you from the 3rd floor Parx Racing studio set. And it's a very happy new year to you guys from the Let's Go Racing team. I know I'm really happy to bring it in here with Dick.
Yes.
And what a year it's been here at Parx. I know we're going to reflect a little bit on 2022 and talk about a lot. It was a pretty crazy 3-year-old category that came up for the Eclipse Awards. And we're also going to recap some top racing from Santa Anita, the Fairgrounds, and Gulfstream. And we've been closed here at Parx as we fall out from that winter storm front we had. But there was no shortage of racing around the country.
Yeah, no question, Danny. Yeah, we were supposed to have those 5 stakes this week, and unfortunately weren't able to run it all. I think everybody understands when you have the deluge we had last Friday, followed by a 50-degree temperature drop, it's hard to keep a track going, and that was the problem here. But all those stakes will come back this week. We'll discuss them coming up. We'll have 2 on Tuesday, 3 on Wednesday, the ones that were supposed to be run last week. But yeah, it's been a some year. You got to your first Kentucky Derby in 2022. We had the best Pennsylvania Derby day ever here with a record handle. In fact, Parx had another record handle, average daily handle this year, and I wrote about it on Panther.org this week. I didn't think they could surpass last year, but because of the great start, remember last year we had handled 14 million the first 3 days of the fiscal year, and then of course PA Derby Day. It just had great racing all the way through. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all way in 2023, except for 4 Saturdays, Triple Crown Days, PA Derby Day, and 1 Sunday on Father's Day.
I mean, just talk about the handle alone and the quality of horses
Yes.
that we saw, including our Pennsylvania Derby winner, Taiba, who is now running at Santa Anita, and he ran in the Grade 1 Malibu. It's a 7-furlong race, $300,000, and of course, he's our favorite in the race for trainer Bob Baffer.
Yeah, he's 2 to 5. Now, he hadn't run since the Breeders' Cup Classic when he finished 3rd, beaten 10. Now, that sounds like beating a lot, but he was beaten by Flightline. Everybody gets beaten by a lot by Flightline, but he ran really well, and certainly Taiba had a tremendous 2022, and they're trying to win an Eclipse Award for top 3-year-olds, see if they can get one more Grade 1 before the year ends.
Well, I know it's a really close call. We're going to talk a little bit about that after this race. And Forbidden Kingdom, that was a name we heard a lot early on in the Kentucky Derby prep races, is our second choice for Richard Mandella.
He was actually the favorite in the Santa Anita Derby that was won by Taiba, and Messier Tabier's stablemate was in that race as well, and he's in this race, but everything has changed in the interim. Right now, Taiba's the one.
Here's the call of the Grade 1 Run Happy Malibu.
Straight No Chaser flies out of the gate very quick with Strava in second. And now here's Forbidden Kingdom flashing his early foot, and Forbidden Kingdom is up to take the lead pretty easily. Perfect Flight is up and on the pace between rivals. Straight No Chaser just outside of him. Taiba is 1 from the rail. Apprehend on the fence, just 3 lengths off the lead, followed by Hoist the Gold, racing on the inside of Strava. Messier second to last, and Nakatomi at the back. 8 lengths covers them as they chase Forbidden Kingdom past the half-mile pole. He has a 3-length lead on Taiba second. Straight No Chaser to the outside third. Apprehend a ground-saving 4th. He's 4 lengths off the lead. Then Hoist the Gold, inside Perfect Flight. Strava inching up just outside of that pair, followed by Nakatomi and Messier at the back. A 1/4 mile to go. Forbidden Kingdom, Taiba, and Straight No Chaser. 3 of them across the track as they turn for home. Taiba between horses. Straight No Chaser running the race of his life. These 2 will arrive at the 8th pole together. Hoist the Gold is finishing with interest on the outside. So is Nakatomi. A 16th to go, and Taiba starts to pull away late. It's Taiba, absolutely terrific in winning the Run Happy Malibu.
And Taiba with a big win there with Mike Smith. I mean, he really shook clear there at the end and looked like the horse that he was earlier in the year.
Yeah, he's a funny horse, Danny, that you have to ride him like from the start, right? You're watching Mike Smith, you go, man, he's pushing early, but that's just Taiba. When you watch him work, he's never spectacular, but man, he is tough. 106 buyer, finishes with 3 Grade 1s. He's the only 3-year-old to win 3. Now, it's clearly going to come down to Taba and Epicenter, and it is a really close call. Now, you and I are voters, and here is the ballot that Danny and I got. Danny's a first-year voter. I've been voting for quite a while. And it's hard. I mean, there is no clear favorite to me. Your thoughts on Taba and then Epicenter?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's really close, and I know Modern Games, the turf horse, was really put in the conversation quite a bit. A lot of people are saying, you know, for them, they feel like the 3-year-old male is for the dirt horses.
Yes.
And for me, Taba, he ran second in the Kentucky Derby, in the Preakness.
Epicenter.
Epicenter, sorry
okay.
about that.
I know what
He
you
did
meant.
have a grade 1 win.
Yep.
I mean, he danced in all those big dances, but then again, you can't knock out Taba with the 3 grade 1s.
Yeah, it's really close for that reason. Taba didn't win the same kinds of races that Epicenter ran in. Epicenter, as Danny said, ran second in the Derby and the Preakness. I thought the Pennsylvania Derby was the best non-Kentucky Derby field of 3-year-olds all year, and I'm not saying that just because we're here. I just think that's the reality. We had all those grade 1 and grade 2 winners in it. But I thought the single best performance by a 3-year-old all year was Epicenter in the Travers. I thought he was awesome. So it's a really close call. I've made my decision. You've made yours. We're just not going to reveal them yet because it doesn't come out. The votes have to be in a couple of days now,
Right.
but it doesn't come out actually until the end of the month when they announce it at the Eclipse Awards. in
Yeah, and we'll
Florida.
definitely talk about it then. And
For sure.
a lot of really good horses, of course. This is the champions in their division.
Yep.
So it was really fun to sit down and kind of reflect on some of these performances. And some of them were easy decisions and some of them were not.
Yeah, like Horse of the Year wasn't hard.
No.
And it'll be the first time we've ever had a Horse of the Year with only 3 races, but flight line. Thank you.
And Park,
Horse of the
shout
Year.
out for the apprentice jockey. We had
There you
3
go.
jockeys that you guys saw right here all year.
Absolutely.
Andy Hernandez was lower in the ranks, but Jose Antonio Gomez, he's
Yep.
got a real shot to win, and Gerard Barbosa.
Yeah, no, I think all of them are going to get votes, and I think I know who I'm voting for, and it's one of those 3.
Same here. Well, we got some big races here next week, of
Yep.
course. They were canceled for
Yes.
the bad weather and
Yep.
the bad track, and they're going to be brought back. So Tuesday, we have the 2 stakes races for the 2-year-olds. That's the Parks Futurity and the Parks Juvenile.
And essentially the same fields. They've already drawn those fields as we're taping the show, Danny. And the next day we'll have 3 more $75,000 races. Maybe Barron will come back. Some of the really good horses that everybody's riding with Biden that people are familiar with around here. What's unclear now, because people haven't been able to train for several days, it's a little different now. All trainers, look, they don't want to miss training, and they've all missed several days now, starting from last Friday. So the track just opened on Thursday, so almost a week without training.
Yeah, and these horses have been running all year, so they're fit, but this adds another element into it
does.
for sure.
It does.
So we'll make it interesting. Well, we're going to head to our first break, but Kentucky Derby prep races are back. Can you believe it? And more top racing here on Let's Go Racing.
It's Chase's Road, who continues to lead here determinedly as they come toward the quarter pole.
The Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association is the advocate for Parks Racing's horsemen and has worked hard to secure better lives for the hundreds of trainers and their families that work in the thoroughbred racing industry. Our horsemen benefit from medical coverage, trainer pension plans, and increased purses. Thanks to these horsemen, racing at Parks is the very best, providing entertainment for you and the entire family. The Pennsylvania Horsemen are proud to be part of the community and introduce a new generation of fans to the sport of kings.
If you want action and you want it now, you got to get the new Parks Racing mobile app. Wager and watch thoroughbred and harness racing from around the world. With the Parks Racing mobile app, it's easy to open and fund your account. Then place your wagers and cheer on your horse as they thunder down the stretch. With the Parks Racing mobile app, you'll easily make withdrawal requests, view the previous day's replays and results. Plus, open any new account now and you'll be automatically enrolled in the Parks Rewards program. The more you wager, the more you earn. Get the new Parks Racing mobile app and get in on the action.
Breeding thoroughbreds is a complicated business, but one that is done for the love of the horse and the sport of horse racing. Founded in 1948, the Pennsylvania Horse Breeders Association is a not-for-profit organization focused on the breeding and care of thoroughbred horses. PHBA is responsible for managing all aspects of the Pennsylvania Breeding Fund and the official registration, marketing, and promotion of Pennsylvania-bred thoroughbred racehorses. PHBA works with industry leaders to help bring reform and benefits to breeders, owners, racetracks, and the general public. Breeding thoroughbreds is a unique and and gratifying lifestyle, one that allows participants an experience unmatched in its emotional intensity and in the enduring social relationships it forges. Whether you're currently a breeder or considering getting involved in this exciting industry, the Pennsylvania Horse Breeders Association can help in your quest to master the complexities of breeding a thoroughbred.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing and some national coverage for you. We're heading to the fairgrounds now. This is a Kentucky Derby prep race. This is for 2-year-olds. It's the Gun Runner Stakes. What a great name. $100,000 going a mile and 16th. And our favorite is for trainer Mark Casse and John Oxley, Determinately.
It's interesting, Danny. Took this horse 6 tries to break his maiden, and now is a favorite in a stake race. And this is a Derby points race that starts early.
We see Jace's Road as our second choice for Brad Cox and Florent Giroux.
Ran 2 really strong races, including a third in the Iroquois. Then in the street sense, in the slop was just a non-factor, so probably you could put a line through that race.
Here's the call of the Gun Runner.
It's Jace's Road, who's going out toward the front for Florent Giroux after that stumbling start. Determinedly is right there in second as they round the first turn. Old Alliance is next, followed toward the rail by Hayes Strike in the white cap as these 2-year-olds go to the back of the track. Raising Cane is 5 to 6 lengths off this leader, while Racing 3 clear from And the Winner Is. And at long odds, Amazing Mark has drifted back to 7th and last. 24.46 for the lead part. With Florent Giroux, it's Jace's Road. So Jace's Road leads by 1/2 to 3/4. Luis Saez and Determinedly right there with Jace's Road for the run nearing the half-mile pole. With Old Alliance now coming up in the 3 path, while Hayes Strike is a ground-saving 4th. 4 furlongs to go in the Gun Runner Stakes. Then on the outside, Raising Cane, it's a break of 7 more to And the Winner Is, who in turn has 5 more on Amazing Mark, who remains the back marker. Half mile in 48.18 seconds. Inside 3 furlongs to go. It's Jace's Road, who continues to lead here determinedly as they come toward the quarter pole. Right there, Raising Cane, and toward the inside is Hayes Strike. Jace's Road and Determinedly 1-2 off the turn. 3/4 in 1 minute 12.54 seconds with Raising Cane in third. And the winner is on the far outside. But for Florent Giroux, it's Jace's Road who's finding in this final fairgrounds furlong. Jace's Road leads determinedly by 3.5 with Raising Cane. And the winner is then Hayes Strike. It's Jace's Road. Jace's Road wins here by 5 in the Gun Runner Stakes.
And Jace's Road getting the win and really shook free of the competition in the last part of the race there. Really promising colt by Quality Road.
Yeah, no doubt. $500,000. Our buddy Terry Finley and West Point are involved in this horse. Certainly a Derby player. You'd think he'd probably go the Louisiana route. Maybe you see him in the Lecomte, or maybe they'll just wait for the Risen Star to be determined. Speaking of that, Determinedly was kind of, after bobble at the start, tried to run, but just was chasing. He'll run better next time.
Yeah, could see one of these horses end up in the starting gate of the Kentucky Derby.
Indeed.
Let's head to the fillies. It's the $100,000 untappable stakes. 2-year-old fillies, a mile and 70 yards, and our favorite is the number 4, Fava.
Fava for Cherie DeVoe, another horse just coming off a maiden win, but it's 2-year-olds. That's what they do now. They go from maidens to stakes. There aren't a lot of allowance races for 2-year-olds.
And the number 1, Pretty Mischievous, is our favorite for Brendan Walsh.
Yeah, and ran third to Hoosier Filly, who is the Tom Amos filly that everybody's talking about, including Tom, who's talking about maybe nominating her to the Kentucky Derby. Not the Kentucky Oaks Hoosier Filly, but Pretty Mischievous, pretty good filly herself.
Track announcer John Dooley with the call of the untappable.
Fava stumbled at the start and drifts back to last. The Alice Look going out toward the front along with All About Me, who's raced to the lead here for Colby Hernandez. All About Me leads with 7 furlongs to go. From in between horses, Just Like Magic, Hey, You Never Know, third up close, and Pretty Mischievous holds the rail in 4th. 2-minute drill, a bit ranked there, needs to settle in 5th, and joined on the outside by Cotton Candy Annie, and they have 6 furlongs to go, where All About Me is the front runner. 24.26 lead seconds, making this backstretch run. All About Me leads Hey You Never Know, Pretty Mischievous with the rail, Just Like Magic and Cotton Candy Annie running in 5th. 2-minute drill is 6th. Then comes the Alice Look with toward the inside, Hang the Moon, and a stumbling start has left Fava back in last. They go past the half-mile pole. Short lead, All About Me. Right there, Pretty Mischievous in the Godolphin blue. 3 wide, Hey You Never Know. half mile in 48.31 seconds. So they round the far turn. Hey, you never know. Hey, you never know. Pretty Mischievous. They've come up to the front from All About Me in third as they come toward the top of the stretch. Gaining on the far outside. Picking up now is the Alice Look. As they straighten past the quarter pole, these 2-year-old fillies come for home. 3/4, 1 minute 13.67 seconds. It's Pretty Mischievous who leads with the rail here for Brian Hernandez Jr. Pretty Mischievous has come clear by 3.5 from a staying on the Alice Look. Hey, you never know. With on the outside, Vava. They're close to home, and it's Pretty Mischievous who leads home the Alice Look. Pretty Mischievous was unflappable in the untappable.
Pretty Mischievous gets the win, and could see her in the Kentucky Oak starting gate for Brendan Walsh.
Yeah, a daughter of Into Mischief, who seems to have just about every good horse there is around, Danny. But yeah, this is a nice filly, 80 buyer versus the 90 that the Colt got in the previous race. And we always like these races named after Untappable. Of course, she won our Cotillion Stakes here some years ago.
Yeah, love John Dooley's call. Pretty Mischievous was unflappable in the Untappable. And keep an eye out for the number 4 Fava, because to have that determination, she was taken out at the start,
Absolutely.
Shuffled to the back. She pinned her ears and came with the run. She showed a lot that I'd like to see, and she's by Gun Runner. So
yeah, those are always the kind of horses you want to look at last time. When they're taken out of their style and they give you that kind of a run, look out next time.
definitely. Well, let's go to California. It's the Grade 2 San Antonio Stakes at Santa Anita. It was opening day, of course. It's a $200,000 race. They go a mile and 16th, and Country Grammar is our 3-5 favorite.
Yeah, Bob Baffert coming out firing at the beginning of the Santa Anita meet. And if people did not know this, Frankie Dettori, this is his final year as a jockey, certainly one of the greats in history, and he's riding the Santa Anita meet. Of course, he's won many Breeders' Cup races, many Arc de Triomphes, many of all the great races in the history of the sport.
Yeah, fun to see him there. And of course, Bob Baffert has our second choice as well. That's Hopkins. Juan Hernandez will ride. Yeah, Hopkins coming off a few good wins there.
Indeed, it was a big day for Baffert and Dettori and Hernandez, as we'll see.
As we see, here's the call to San Antonio.
Hopkins on the stretch out has the most early speed and leads the way, coming to the 6 furlong pole by 3/4 of a length. Stiletto Boy keeping pace in second, followed by Breakfast Ride third, and Country Grammar is fourth, 3 lengths off the lead as they swing onto the backstretch. 4 more to Hudson Ridge, together with Haywood's Beach. Down the backstretch, and it's Hopkins in front, 3/4 of a length. Stiletto Boy in second, with Breakfast Ride. Country Grammar still packed deepest of all, moves up to take third, coming to the half-mile pole in the San Antonio. Still 3 back to Hudson Ridge and Haywood's Beach into the far turn. It's been Hopkins throughout, leading the way. Country Grammar on the outside of Stiletto Boy, a joint second. 2.5 more. Breakfast Ride is losing ground while under a ride. Haywood's Beach 1 from the rail, and Hudson Ridge inside of him. They have a 1/4 mile to go, and Country Grammar starts to strut his stuff, pouncing on Stiletto Boy and turning for home in command. Country Grammar suddenly 3 in front. Stiletto Boy in second, followed by Haywood's Beach and Breakfast Ride, a 16th to go, and Country Grammar overwhelms the competition.
Country Grammar winning in style with Frankie Dettori, and got to see that trademark flying dismount at the end.
It's very cool. And Frankie won 3 on the card, and Country Grammar will go back to Saudi, try to win the Saudi Cup second last year. Of course, won the Dubai World Cup, and then ran against Flayline.
That is a well-traveled horse.
Yeah, he's a neat horse, and he's been well managed, and he's won a ton of money because they put him in good spots. But yeah, they'll go for possibly Saudi and Dubai again.
Yeah, Bob said he's clutch horse. He always comes through. A nice win for the son of Tonalist. I was a huge fan of Tonalist when he was running, even though he did upset California
I was
Crow.
not a huge fan of Tonalist for that very reason,
me
because
too.
he beat California Crow.
Well, we're going to head to another break, but more racing from around the country. And we're going to preview some of the upcoming stakes races here at Parks. Stick around.
Turning for Home is a nonprofit that has provided nearly 2,800 former racehorses with a safe retirement. The program was created through the foresight of the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association.
We all love animals, and to give back to something that helps us so much, it's a it's a great thing.
Responding to the need for a better system that addressed the uncertain future for the retiring equine population at Parks Racing, the PTHA rallied horsemen to support the program.
These horses can do anything from hunter jumpers to western to therapeutic riding.
Turning for Home became the first on-track retirement program at a year-round racetrack.
We want to make sure that our horses that have run so well for us over the years get the great opportunity to get a new vocation.
Out of everything that we've done in Pennsylvania for racing, I think that's the thing we can be most proud of.
If you would like to help these amazing animals find a great second career and forever home, please give us a call or contact us at turningforhome.org.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing, everyone, and Happy New Year again. I have my New Year's shirt on. I look like
ready.
tinsel. I'm ready to go party.
All right.
What a great year it was, and I know we're excited for 2023.
We are.
If it can top this year, I'm excited.
Just if they get close, we can get in a photo. I'll be happy.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's get back to some racing. It's Santa Anita Park. It's the Grade 1 La Brea Stakes, $300,000 for 3-year-old fillies going 7 furlongs, and let's pick it up with Fun to Dream.
Yeah, Fun to Dream, and this is the filly counterpart to the Malibu, and Fun to Dream, just as solid as she can get. One good race after another. Now 5 out of 6 lifetime, Danny. Bob Baffert, yes, and co-owned by Jill Baffert, goes on to win it.
What I thought was really cool was Fun to Dream is by Arrogate, who
Yes.
Bob trained, and the second place horse, Awake at Midnight, is by Nyquist, who Doug O'Neill trained, and
They ran one too.
they did. I just thought that was really cool. Well, let's stick it at Santa Anita. It's the Grade 1 American Oaks. This is on the downhill turf course, a 1.25 miles. It's a far race. $300,000 is the person. The number 9, Salima, shows the way on the lead.
Yes, loose on the lead, and looks like maybe she's even going to get there, and then all of a sudden just stops. I mean, literally just comes to a halt. Rhea Moon for that man, Phil D'Amato, who is the man on the grass in Southern California, and Juan Hernandez going to get up right at the end by a head. I mean, came from absolutely nowhere at 6-1.
Yeah, it looks like one of those classic turf rides from Juan Hernandez, just galloping along, covered up, and then gets up for the win. Well, let's go down to Gulfstream Park. It's the $100,000 Tropical Derby. This is for 3-year-olds. It did come off the turf. It's on their Tapeta surface, 1.16 miles.
Yeah, it was an opening day of the championship meet, and Danny, unfortunately, as you said, it was raining down there, and everything went to Tapeta that was on the turf. And this race I found almost impossible when I first handicapped it. Did you like anything as you were betting this race?
No, I never would have came up with Golden Glider, but I was certainly impressed. And apparently, he had to be dead last on the Tapeta.
Yeah, he came from exactly dead last at 10-1 for Mark Cassidy. And it's interesting, Danny, the first win this horse ever had was on the Tapeta at Woodbine, and was on the Triple Crown Trail, was never really any good there. Back to the Tapeta, wins.
I remember the name Golden Glider, and of course, I love me some Ghost Zappers, but Fort Washington, too, mark him down because he came flying from the back as well.
It was a wild finish. I couldn't call it. I was out here Monday betting on Gulfstream, unfortunately, as it turned out.
Looks like you didn't win that race. Well, let's stay on Gulfstream. This is the Phillies race for the Tropical Park Oaks. Another one, and 1.16 came off the turf on the Tapeta surface.
And here's a man who can win on any surfaces, and his horses train on Tapeta. Candy Light the 6 for Graham Motion, again coming from the back. I think Graham would have preferred going on the turf, but look, he trains at Fair Hill with all his horses, and they train on the Tapeta surface. Candy Light, 7-2, wins it.
Yeah, big win for Graham and Jose Ortiz. Well, we're going to head to another break, but we're going to talk about all the stakes races coming up at Parks next week, and we have a little something from the friends at Turning for Home. Stick around.
Want to get out of the cold this winter? Well, Parks Racing is just the place to keep you warm and toasty. Parks Racing gives you plenty of live horse racing action all winter long. And yes, it's fun to see them run from other racetracks as well, with plenty of simulcast action from all around the country. It's a front row seat to see the top 3-year-olds prep for the Triple Crown from Gulfstream Park, Santa Anita, and more. So put on your snow boots, grab your coat, and head on over to Parks Racing. It's warm and toasty, and always, it's fun to see them run.
Racehorses are pampered,
treated with care, and loved.
Nothing is more important than their health and their safety.
We do right by them,
and they do right by us.
the hard-working folks who
proudly earn our living
In Pennsylvania's horse racing,
and breeding industries.
Horse racing is a lot of fun.
but it's so much more.
It provides tens of thousands of jobs
Jobs and billions in economic impact each year.
all across the Commonwealth.
Horse racing in Pennsylvania, it's a winner.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. And if you're looking for something fun to do on New Year's Eve, bet the card at Parks. There's a lot of good races around the country at Gulfstream, at Santa Anita.
No question, Gulfstream, it's sort of like Pegasus preview day. We see Colonel Liam again, who'll be back in the Fort Lauderdale trying to get into that Pegasus turf, see if he can win it again.
If you need something sparkly to wear, give me a call. I got plenty of sequins and tinsel in my closet to share. Well, let's preview some races coming up for this week. We're going to go to Tuesday's card. Let's start with the 9th race. It's the Parks Juvenile, $75,000. This is for 3-year-olds now.
Yeah,
they're now 3-year-olds, just turned. They had a birthday on New Year's Day, 7 furlongs. And of course, my heart is going to stick with Winning Time, who we saw have that big PA Nursery win. But there is a shooter in there that I really like, Recruiter, the outside horse. I will play an exacta with them too. Michael Sanchez and Cal Lynch, when they team up on the outside, it is dangerous. And like you pointed out during the break, Recruiter has been training. Cal Lynch trains at the training center down in Fair Hill. They did not have a closed track.
Exactly.
That might give an advantage.
Yeah, I would think that does give an advantage over the horses that have been not training here at Parks for almost a week.
But Winning Time has heart, and he has grit, and he's been getting all the carrots from me, so that might help.
And it's a cool story that we both wrote about recently on Kate DeMasi, and it's her horse all the way through by Wind Chill out of a horse she trained.
Absolutely, and you're going to take the Phillies race.
I am going to take the Phillies race. Look, I like Girl Trouble when this race was drawn last time. She was outside last time. She's outside again for Butch Reed. Her last 2 races were just sensational. Danny won by big margins in both of them. Yeah, I like Girl Trouble. It's Swoken Stable, LC Racing, Butch Reed. They got another good one. Girl Trouble now turning 3. Look out.
Butch Reed with a barn full of nice horses. And make sure you come hang out with us because we miss you. We want to bring in the new year with you. We do race Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Post time is still 11:55. But our friends at Turning for Home, we leave you with this, a beautiful video with some of our retired horses that came through our Turning for Home program this year.
Skippy Longstocking has early speed. We the people from in between horses. Taba's got the lead now. It's Taba in the center of the racetrack, but Taba is drawing away, and Taba with Mike Smith, they win the Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby.